For today's video, we're going to be finishing up some projects. We had a sale recently at the shop and now we need to restock it with new inventory. This is the hardware that originally came with the dresser, except for on these top ones they were missing. I don't like these, and they've already been painted over with yellow. I don't even know what to call them, like weird Art Deco screw things. So we're gonna take those out, spray paint this black, and then we'll use black screws and make it look like kind of an industrial vibe. So we started painting these nightstands that used to be a desk on our live video yesterday. We'll drop that link below. But we've got a little bit of water damage down here on the bottom of it, so to cover it up, we've got these little pieces of wood left over from a coffee table build. We'll cut them to fit, glue and nail them into place, and then that way it'll cover it up. We'll just paint it white and it'll all look good.
So this right here, this MDF is starting to swell a little bit. So that's what we're trying to hide with this, and it's going to give it some more stability on the bottom as well. This drawer has a little bit of bubbling in the veneer. I'm just gonna push some glue up underneath that and then clamp that down, and then we'll sand the rough edge smooth because I'm kind of just forcing it under. It may still have a little bubble when I'm all done, but it should help it keep from peeling up any more than it already is.
So I have these IOD knobs. These are the 1 1/4 inch knobs. They come raw wood and you can finish them any way you want. Some of the things I like about the knob is a nice routed edge and detail along the side. It's not something you're going to get with your standard 95-cent hardware store knob. Also, instead of having to drill through the back, it comes riveted, so they go on very easy and you don't have to worry about splitting the wood. I've already painted underneath, and to paint around the edges, I'm just going to install them. Then I'll take the drawer out and Zeb can spray all around and on the top without having to worry about touching it or putting it in foam or whatever.
It's a little crowded in the garage right now, but I've got this all just together. I might have to shuffle a few things around, but you can see why we need to get these things painted and get them out of here. We've purchased quite a few pieces of furniture, and we sold quite a few pieces of furniture while we were off in Albuquerque at our family reunion, so it is time to get these done and get them out of the garage so we can get new pieces and sell these.
So we had a ton of bleed through with all this furniture. I went through 2 cans of shellac, spraying it, covering up like old stains and tannins that came through. And then we had to cover it up, then we found more bleed through, then we sprayed it again. The moral of the story is the next set that I paint of furniture, it's all going black, no bleed through. Next, we're gonna make them chippy and distressed. We're using an orbital sander with 220 sandpaper, hitting the edges and going lightly over the flat surfaces. So next we're going to be using the IOD knob topper stamps and flexi stamper to stamp our knob. I'm just going to take and put the knob topper stamp on this part of the flexi stamper, and I'm going to dab it into my ink pad. You can use paint, but you get a better impression with ink.
Now that everything's distressed, it needs sealed. We're using Sweet Pickins Top Coat. It'll give us a nice matte finish that's really durable. All right, so everything has been painted, bleed through's been fixed, and we've sealed it. Now I've got to solve the problem of I've got a little bit of overspray on the tops of these where we sanded them earlier because we hadn't decided if we were gonna brush or spray. My solution to that, I've just got a piece of 80 grit and some old MDF. Reason I'm using the MDF, it has a really nice square corner. I'm gonna run it right along that routed edge. Clean that up, and then we'll be able to stain these. These two nightstands are a little bit different. They don't have the detail on the edge, so I can just use the orbital sander and get that nice and cleaned up. We need to stain the tops of those nightstands that are out there. I'm gonna be using Sweet Pickins milk paint in Haberdash so that there's kind of some formula you can follow. I've got half a cup of warm water, and I'm just gonna do 1 tablespoon of Haberdash, and we will see how thin this is and how it mixes up. I'm gonna do a little test on a board. It's basically gonna be more like a color wash. We're hoping it'll be a nice water-based stain that we can use for woods that we can do nice light finishes on, so we don't have to mess around with oil-based stains that don't necessarily play nice with the water-based paints and sealers that we love. All right, here goes. Just gonna use this rag and apply it with a cloth. I'm gonna go really carefully because I don't want to spill it over the edges and get it on the paint. All right, so it's wet now. I'm gonna let that sit and dry, and we'll compare 1 coat with the raw wood.
Zeb asked my opinion about these nightstands, and I'm thinking that an extra coat would really do well because it's a little bit yellow, so I'm wanting to bring out some of the more brown tones. 1 more will do, and then if I still don't love it, maybe we'll do a gray wash or a white wash. We'll kind of see.
All right, coat number 2 it is. You can see the difference. There is a definite difference. We just want more of the gray and brown and less yellowy. This is 2 coats dry. Nothing on this one yet. I'm gonna do 1 more coat on here because it's still got a hint of yellowy tone. So that'll be 3 coats total on this. In the future, I might add a little bit of galvanized, which is a dark gray color to it, and hopefully richen that gray tone up a little bit more. But for a first time experiment, I'm really liking this. Jamie says darker. 4th coat, here we come. 4 coats was the trick. I'm gonna get this one stained up, and then we will go ahead and seal them with the Sweet Pickins top coat, same as the bottom, and we'll be all done.
We successfully were able to recreate a similar effect of real stain number 2 using
Suitcase in milk paint.
way less expensive. It comes in a sample size, so you can buy a sample size, which would be more than enough to do a project like this and then have some left over.
Oh yeah, you could probably do a whole tabletop with a sample size and get this dark. So I ended up doing 4 coats total and then just sealed it. And you can still see the wood grain. It's not super dark. You can still see the undertones of some gray here and there from natural wood. It's awesome.
If you're interested in the products that we used to get this look, check out the description box. We'll have them all linked. Make sure to go to JamiRayVintage.com for these products and everything you need for your DIYs at home.
If you like these transformations, give us a comment below. Let us know if you like the new stain color, and we're gonna experiment with some other colors, maybe do some really fun washes in some faded greens and old style like that.
We're gonna play around with some mixology and have a really good time finding new stains. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Hit the subscribe button.